The threefold challenge is this. We're launching a completely new automotive brand. We're launching an entirely new segment because Mini is the smallest car on the American road. And third, we were launching 2 models. The traditional approach to launching an automotive brand wasn't going to work. We knew we had to think differently.
The unique thing about the Mini was it's been built for over 40+ years in Europe. The original concept was developed by Sir Alec Zagonis, and his project was to develop a car that would be the smallest vehicle possible to fit 4 adults comfortably. So that same concept had to be done for the new Mini. And what's interesting is, normally when you're designing a new car, you have maybe 3 or 4 design concepts. For the Mini, it took 15. Because you literally were redesigning an icon.
And our long-term vision is for the new Mini to become an icon in the United States as well. And that's very important for a few reasons. Number one, icons are always appropriate. They're never a fad. Icons are never out of style. And they're classless. And by meaning classless is that they appeal to people from 16 to 60.
Considering the Mini's start and history in the UK helped determine how to look at its future.
First off, we are going to celebrate it. We can't deny it. Mini is the smallest car on the American road, so we're going to have fun with it.
Let's hit the road!
And celebrate this new entry into the U.S. automotive marketplace.
Next, Mini needed to know who the customer would be, because it would enable them to tailor their marketing communications to appeal to the prospective buyers in an interesting way.
We said very early on, we took the car out and we showed it to consumers across the board. So what we found in talking to these consumers is that they share many of the same traits. They're very successful in general, but they define success for themselves. So rather than a bank account being full, it's I might have the greatest collection of South African art. They are technologically savvy and very comfortable with the web.
And we knew that they would do a lot of online research ahead of time. They know what they want exactly what they want, and as fast as they can get it.
So there was this real mindset that started to develop, and we said, you know, this is very, very interesting because this is not a typical way to segment, and so this is going to have to force us to be incredibly creative in our approach to marketing.
With plenty of enthusiasm about the Mini generated internally, the marketing team was certain it would be successful in creating and promoting the Mini brand.
Our goal was really to create one singular tone of voice for Mini. So we knew that we could not work independent of one another interdepartmentally. So our role in the marketing group was to make sure to pull together all the different facets of the organization and make sure that we were all on board with the same sort of philosophy.
Part of differentiating Mini from its numerous competitors was determining what the competition was doing.
So we started to take a look at what are other automotive companies saying. And the reality is all the other companies talk about driving. And we said, you know what? Mini is something different. Mini has a spirit of its own, and driving isn't the right way to approach talking about Mini.
The Mini team set out to create an integrated message that would appeal to its customers.
We created our own culture of driving, really, and we call it motoring. So one of the first things we did was publish a little book called The Book of Motoring. And we distributed over 300,000 of these via requests on the website, auto shows, events, really to explain this culture. And what this culture is all about, it's about volunteering jumper cables. It's about more than going from A to Z, but it's everything in between. It's all about smiles, because a Mini makes you smile when you're motoring in it, rather, but it also makes other people smile. It's about taking the long cut rather than the short cut. So for example, we have lines such as, once you've had small, you'll never go back. The SUV backlash officially starts now, and let's sip, not guzzle. We know the Mini mindset is extremely discovery-oriented, which means they like to investigate things. They like to become comfortable with marketing, but on their own terms. So MiniUSA.com became an excellent conduit for us, both in pre-launch, during launch, as well as then customer retention. Our pre-launch efforts included a CRM email campaign which netted 150,000 people raising their hands and registering on MiniUSA.com for more information. Make Waiting Fun is a really important program for us to keep customers abreast of where their Mini is in the process of build. You're able to go on MiniUSA.com and track your car from the moment you place the order to the minute it's delivered to the dealership showroom. It also allowed us to talk about things that were really important in the product positioning, such as customization. Customization and personalization is one of the huge hallmarks of the Mini brand. People for years have been customizing their Minis, so we needed to perpetuate that as well. And we call it youification. When you youify your Mini, you make it your very own. And our ultimate goal is that there wouldn't be one Mini on the road that would be like any other.
Mini uses several non-traditional approaches to distributing its message. By focusing on less expensive mediums such as print ads and billboards to communicate their message in new and edgy ways, they get a much bigger bang for their buck.
Mini doesn't use the term advertising. We rather reframe it, and we call it creative content and creative content distribution. It includes everything from the new owner's welcome kit, the New Yorker cartoon booklet, Mini on an SUV, Mini mold, auto show displays, as well as MiniUSA.com. So as you can see, it's a very broad range versus just your typical ad, if you will.
Publicity has proved to be a most effective tool for promoting Mini. The news and auto media have been inundated with articles and awards regarding the safety, reliability, and ultimate value of the Mini.
It truly, for Mini, has been one of the most powerful communication tools we had, because the PR was so extensive and so in-depth and truly magnificent, and it really opened the door and allowed us to do some very unique and different non-traditional approach marketing.
Although Mini does have salespeople who possess great knowledge about the engineering and qualities of the Mini automobile, they don't resemble the image of the average car salesman.
The typical car salesperson title did not quite seem right for Mini, so instead we coined the term Mini Motoring Advisors. We invested very heavily in the training of these motoring advisors to create the ultimate brand experience for the consumer, yet again one of those all-important consumer touchpoints.
Welcome to Prestige Mini. My name is Augie Prager. I'm the sales manager at Mini. I think it's a little bit different than your average car dealership, and marketing is completely different from what people are used to. This was a scavenger hunt that we had in the fall, and we had different clues to different points that you would try to meet. And if you were successful enough to meet at all these points, you got a piece of the puzzle. And whoever had the most pieces of the puzzle that met at the final destination and put it into the giant puzzle, which created the classic Mini at the end, got a prize. It was at an apple orchard in upstate New York.
The Mini Motoring Advisors truly act as an extension of the Mini brand when it comes to the customer retail experience.
Mini has successfully built a marketing communication system which listens to all groups within the organization, responds quickly to customer feedback and information, and uses their marketing messages to let their customers know they are listening and responding to their needs.
A rare opportunity presented itself when we were asked to launch the Mini.
Kind of reinvent automotive history.
And consumers, as we noted earlier, had virtually 0% brand awareness.
People were unsure whether it would be successful or not.
So we truly got to build the brand from the bottom up.
We ended up winning the North American Car of the Year, and we're the first European vehicle ever to do that, and we did it with the Mini.